Elias Martinez, and welcome to the CEA CEO Podcast, the show where we discuss and document inspiring stories from the entrepreneurs and leaders involved with the controlled environment agriculture movement. Thank you guys for joining. So, just kind of want to talk to you guys about just other mistakes that I've made. It seems like I'm making a lot, doesn't it? Yeah. But that's kind of what happens when you're new to everything and not really knowing how things should be going or how things should be operated, or just not. Maybe it's just me, not really preparing the way I'm supposed to. Yeah. So kind of what I want to talk about is a current account that I have or had, or we'll see what happens. But it's with a local CSA. It's called Fresh Fix, and I contacted them a while ago, and we finally got into some brass tacks as far as what exactly was needed, what they needed, and they kind of told me, we want to test things out. We're gonna try to grow about 10 pounds or more of arugula, which is a fairly easy microgreen to grow, and um, there's kind of it's a fairly easy one to grow. So we came to an agreement, came to a price and a date, and so kind of it all started sort of wrong from the beginning. So um, so I order my seeds mostly through Amazon, and the seeds that I needed, the arugula, they had 1 pound for prime order, which I would get in a couple of days, and then the larger one, which was about 5 pounds, which was more likely that I needed, um, was a few more dollars, but they didn't have prime available, so it was going to take probably about a week or so to get. So I informed the client about this, and we kind of had to extend it one more week. Um, so I order it, and it's on its way. And midway into it getting here, um, Buffalo decides to have one of the largest snowstorms of the year. And it's not just Buffalo; it's pretty much the whole Western New York region and kind of the Lake Erie area, because it does happen a lot. And it was snowing so bad that um, they people were calling off of work 2 days in a row. They closed down pretty much the whole city for 2 days. Even postal workers weren't working, and that's how cold and that's how bad it was. So what ended up happening to my package was that it was put somewhere in a post office and forgotten about. Um, because right after the postal service began delivering again, I saw that the package wasn't moving through the tracking, and um, I tried to contact people about it and try to figure out where it was, and nobody really knew. Um, so I kind of basically had to wait, and the 1 week that I was supposed to wait for the package ended up being 2 weeks. So we're pushing this out another week already, and so that happened, and I let the client know, and they completely understood. Um, but then I finally received the package, and I had to go pick it up at the postal office, and they left one of those slips, so I had to go grab it, and I immediately as soon as I grabbed it and came back to the warehouse, the farm, I started planting it, and just made about 12 trays of microgreens of arugula, just to sort of cover up for it. So the mistake from the beginning was that I wrongly assumed how much I could actually get for the yield of each tray of arugula. For some reason, I thought it was going to be about a pound per tray, but it ended up being more about 10 to 12 ounces average. So just with that miscalculation right there, I'm already short a few pounds towards the end. And one thing you want to do is when you're growing larger orders that way, you kind of want to, in a way, plan for the unexpected, which is what I did. I planned for the unexpected, but I wrongly assumed the yield amount. But when you have large amounts, you kind of want to plant maybe a good 10 to 20% more. So maybe if you're planting 10 trays, try planting one or two more trays just to make up for mold or disease or failure of the other crops, or if the other ones are a bit light, you can have more, altogether. It's just kind of like creating like a baker's dozen in a way. Um, but um, but I wrongly assumed the yield amount, and that right there was already a disaster because um, what it did was it forced me to have to um, use other microgreens that I had grown um, and sort of fill that amount because there was no way I was going to get to the 10 pounds that I needed. So I had to get all the other microgreens that I had, about three other varieties, and cut everything that I had in order to make that weight because I didn't have anything. Um, I didn't have that much planted to begin with. I kind of grow to order and try to keep things lean. Um, but luckily, I had missed the farmer's market a few days before. So there was a bunch of microgreens that I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to sell, that I was actually in a way able to get rid of because they were still good, and just provide more variety to the client. So I was able to get whatever it was that I had that I was going to sell at the farmer's market and clip that before they went old or bad, and fulfilled about three quarters of what the client wanted, um, and you know that kind of had a domino effect with other things because I had packaging. I had enough packaging specifically for the amount the that the client wanted, um, but since I had to do different amounts and cut things in half in order for it to be presentable, or at least using the packaging, I would have to um, use more packaging, which I didn't have. So I kind of had to resort to using uh, zip Ziploc baggies, which is not very presentable, but it's you got to do what you have to do. So I used those. I had an issue with labeling as well because now what I had was specifically for one type of variety and not for the other ones that I had. Plus, the weight was different on the labels. So, me putting labels on there with the weight, it would just be sort of a misrepresentation. So, I kind of had to resort to handwritten labels. Uh, I wasn't too happy about that. It's things that mistakes that I made that I should have planned a little better. Um, the client, he seemed to be not care too much. He cared, but you know, um, he kind of understood because he has dealt with a lot of farmers and kind of things happen. Um, but I kind of was really disappointed with myself again. So it was kind of a stretch from the other, from just a few days before that where I missed the farmers market. So it was a pretty crappy weekend, or pretty crappy week too. Um, it seemed like I couldn't get anything together. I don't know if you guys ever felt that way, but I mean, sometimes it feels like it just keeps going. Um, but I mean, I was able to make the delivery, get it to him on time, uh, and get paid for it as well. So it was a pretty decent pay for it. I I'm pretty happy with the account, and just kind of hoping to see if there's any way that we continue the relationship, because I don't want to lose it just for being an idiot. Um, but it sounded like he wanted to continue, so we'll see where that goes. I'll keep you guys up to date on that stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, let me know. Have you guys ever had issues with clients where you end up missing an order or not being able to supply the actual amount that they wanted? Yeah, let me know your stories and what you guys did to sort of rectify, you know, the situation. Because what I ended up having to do was give the client a really large discount to sort of just make up for it. Sometimes you kind of have to just take it on the chin. Especially if it's your mistake. Um, you kind of have to do what you have to do to make the customer happy, and that's what I did. I gave them additional discount to it, and had to take a lower, you know, I had to take a smaller amount of pay for what it was that I brought out. But it's something I had to do. But yeah, I would love to hear what you guys do in order to rectify any situations where if you messed up, what do you do to fix it? Um, what do you suggest? I'm hoping I don't do it again, but let me know if something like that happens again. If there's any tips and tricks that you think I should do or apply in order for it to either not happen again, or if it happens again, to fix it. So, I mean, I would love to hear any sort of creative ideas you guys have or have used, and sort of what was the outcome of your customer service. So, did you continue ordering, or did they continue ordering? How's your relationship been since then? What other perceptions of you? I would love to hear all that, because that's kind of things I'm thinking about. Maybe you had a client, maybe you had a grower that did the same thing to you. Let me know what they did for you and how the relationship is like that as well. So, I mean, I would love to hear all um, stories from both sides, or from every side, because every story has multiple sides. So, yeah, I would love to hear from it. Leave it in the comments section. If you want to get in contact with me through my business, everything is Cubed Root. So KUBED ROOT, and that's in every social media account. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I'm all on there. If you want to get a hold of me through the podcast, it's the CEA CEO Podcast, and that's on um, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Um, I'll have all the links below. You guys can check it out, click on it. I'll have the website down there as well for the um, company and for the website. Uh, you guys can visit that, check it out, give me some feedback, what you think I should do. Um, but uh, but yeah, I mean, so far it's been a pretty hectic week. Um, I think I might have some good news. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with that. I'm gonna get back to you guys later about it. Kind of tell you the process, what it went through, what it is that I'm actually doing, and I don't I don't know if I'm gonna have an outcome yet, but I'll let you guys know exactly what's going on. Um, I'd love to hear from you. Uh, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff for YouTube, and I look forward from hearing you guys. All right, so I'll CEA you later. Bye bye.